Okay. I actually pressed live before I was even ready because I'm still adjusting my camera, putting everything together. I don't have my earbud in. I realize that I'm running late, so I was like, let me hurry up and go on camera before people start messaging me like, are you okay? Are you coming on today? I don't want anyone to worry about me. I'm okay. I almost took off from work today because my daughter is still sick and my son is getting sick, which always happens like that. Like as soon as she's getting a little better, she went to the doctor yesterday, got some medicine. As soon as she's getting a little better, then he gets worse, or he gets whatever she has. So I don't know what's going to happen today. They may call me and say, can you come and get them? My mom was out of town, so she couldn't take them again today like yesterday. So I had to take them to school. I almost called in, hey Diane, I almost called into work because I didn't want to take them to school, like with them not feeling great, but they did. They slept all night, so I was like, well, at least they're not fussy and cranky from being up sick all night. Like they slept from like 8:30 until 6, actually 7 this morning. So I'm running late because I didn't even get them up until 7. Oh. Can you not hear me? It's on. Let me put the other one in. I don't even know how to. Can you hear me now? Maybe my Bluetooth didn't pick up. Let me know if you can hear me now. It's in my ear, but I put it on after, so I don't know if it didn't pick up. Mic check, 1 2 1 2. Same sound as before when you have your headphones. What? So is the sound just good or the sound is bad? Because I can plug in if I need to. I think I charged these things day before yesterday, so it should be okay. It's bad, okay. Got my handy dandy backup plan. How's that? Oh, maybe I should talk so you can tell. Is this better? Can you hear me more? Can you hear me better? Okay. All right, cool. Thank you, technical director for the show. Speaking of the show, this is Travel Chat. Travel Chat, the show where I use my infinite commute, my super long commute to talk through my personal development, work out my talk about how I'm using law of attraction in my life, just in case you're curious and you also want to use law of attraction in your life, and the epiphanies that I have when I apply law of attraction to my life, the results, the things that happen immediately. So that's what it's about. I don't know about the lighting too. Like everything is weird today. I don't know. Maybe it's because it's fall and I'm not going to have like good light. Oh, look at that. It changed. Well, there you go. There you go. Alrighty. So interesting things happened yesterday. Yesterday was like such an endless day. It was great. Wednesday is now my favorite day of the week. And I had the mastermind call with Diane at noon. I'm talking like it's not just me and you listening right now, but I know eventually later today somebody's going to watch the replay and be like, why are you just talking to one person? So I had my mastermind call with you yesterday and it was amazing. Like, we just vibe on a whole other level. It's really nice. Because I think we have different goals, like different ideas and totally different businesses, but just to kind of be on the same wavelength with, like, we're both like super idea machines, so we have more ideas than there is time in our life to pursue them all, and that's a good problem to have, because then you can kind of pick and choose which ideas you want to pursue. So that's pretty cool. And we're both, on the same page as far as, like, we're going to set these goals and we're just going to work towards them little by little by little by little and do what we need to do. But the conversation, it was an hour long, and it wasn't all goals, and it wasn't all struggle, and it wasn't all, epiphanies. It was just like, this is the way I think about the world. This is the way I think about life. And this is the mindset stumbling block that I have around this topic. And it was fruitful. Like, so the first call that we had was kind of like getting things set up, getting all the audio and stuff right. How are we going to do it, and all that stuff, and just kind of talking a little bit. But this call we had yesterday was the second call, and it was more of, all right, this is what we're going to do, and just kind of talking through it. And immediately things came up for both of us as far as, like, just saying, and I was writing it down, and it was like, just writing down that this is my goal is making me feel anxious, which is strange because it's the same goal that I had. It's I have the productivity snowball. So what I wrote down on the goal for our mastermind was not different than what's on my productivity snowball. It's actually, I have like 5 things on my snowball. It's like one thing off my snowball. And so it wasn't like news to me that I was going to pursue this thing, but it was like the act of writing it down in the presence of another person made it like real, and made me able to kind of pinpoint where my hiccups and hangups would be. Whereas I probably, 4-way stops are always a very strange dynamic. So I probably do that because I talk things out every morning on Travel Chat, but also, it was a different way of thinking of it. So just by saying it out loud and having somebody like listen to me say it, I could easily feel what was percolating up to the surface. And for the first time, I was able to realize, like, what was bothering me about this idea of making passive income. And I suddenly felt like, okay, that's the problem, right? And then when Diane was talking about her revenue goals, I was able to kind of pick out like certain little parts that were like, okay, this might be the hang up, and push a little bit and poke a little bit. And then we got to the root of the problem and hopefully dissolved it. Hopefully we wrestled that puppy to the ground. Oh, I don't like to wrestle puppies. No, we didn't wrestle the puppy. We wrestled a gorilla, something else that is an equal match for us. We wrestled something to the ground, and we hopefully started, I can't speak for you, so I can just say, hopefully we started thinking about things in a different way to kind of release that false belief. Because, I still have work to do on my money mindset, even though I do a lot of things to have, like, heal my relationship with money. I realized there's deeper levels to it and deeper levels. And these things could go back generations. You never know. The reason that you're taught a certain way, a certain thing about money is because you learned it from your family who learned it from their family. I mean, it goes back generations. So it doesn't just get cleared in one day where you're just like, okay, everything's great. Money's my BFF and here we go. Cash is cool. It's like it takes reinforcement and it takes... I hope that didn't scare you. I'm fine. My silly thing fell off again. Yeah. Maybe I'll edit the video and cut that out because I seem kind of scary. Yeah, it's like a suction cup. Maybe if I didn't blow the air conditioner right directly on it. My suction cup is deciding not to stick today. So it fell off before I came on camera and it's just gonna keep doing it looks like. All right, I'm gonna stick it somewhere else. This is fun, right? This is a fun day. Stick it here. Let's see what happens. Oh, can't even get that off. Okay. Ugh. Can't get that off. So that might be good. Okay. Whoa. And we're sliding. Okay. This is just weird. Okay. Good morning, Mona. I'm readjusting the equipment because I've had all types of equipment issues so far. Okay, so what was I saying? Yeah, I can't speak for Diane, but just speaking for myself, just because something kind of, and I'm sorry about the lighting, it's sunlight, I can't apologize for the sun. I can't. Just because something percolates to the surface during your mastermind call doesn't mean that you tackle it and it's over, because it doesn't go away that fast. Like, you're actually having to work through the issues and see them from multiple points of view and different settings, and it's like a whole thing. And personal development is life-changing, but it's not easy. It's simple, but it can be tough because you're confronting a lot of well-buried emotions that suddenly you start shaking them up and stirring them up, and then you have to deal with what happens from that. So it's good, though. It's really good. It's life-changing. So we both had some things that we came away knowing that we needed to hide, Jairus, knowing that we needed to deal with. And so it was a really good call. I thought it was a really, really good call. And then about, I don't know, Diane would know, but because I like texted you as soon as it happened, but like maybe an hour later, I had this epiphany about money, because my issue is, I've been doing this doctoring thing for like 15 years now, and finally paid off my student loans. But you make a lot of money as a doctor. You're not at the bottom of the feeding pool or whatever. You make a lot of money, but it costs a lot of money. So it kind of balances out, especially if you have debt. If you have debt, you're in the same boat as anyone who works any kind of job and has debt, because you make a lot, but you don't keep any of it. And so when I started this debt-free journey last year, I was keeping like negative $2,000 because I had just had so many payments on so many different things. It was crazy. And I had to get rid of all those. And so this is such a weird angle. Sorry, y'all. So I paid off the debt, and so now we have money to put towards my husband's travels, because he's in interview season, and he's about to finish medical school, which is awesome. And there's just a lot of expense that comes with all that. It's almost like your senior year of high school, and everything costs money. You got to buy this, you got to buy that. There's this, social function, there's that thing. And so it's been crazy because not only does he have travel expenses for interviews, he has the application fees. The application fees are like $2,000. And then all of his friends have decided to get married. So his friends are getting married. We went to a wedding in Charlotte. There's another wedding in Mexico. And he's like, I don't think we can make it. And I'm just like, it's a lot, right? All at once. And and then he's traveling all over too. So it's just a lot. And we maintain 2 households. We were paying 3 because we had the rental house that wasn't making us any money, but we maintain 2 households, ours, and then he lives kind of far away from us. So his rent, his utilities, and all that stuff. So now that we don't have the debt anymore, we're able to put the money we were paying towards debt, thank God, hallelujah, to all these other expenses that would have just broken us if we hadn't paid off the debt. We would not have been able to do interview season and all this stuff. It's crazy. So we're kind of breaking even at this point. But thankfully, I do have a high salary that can cover like everything that needs to get done and keep us to where we're not like eating beans and rice, which is what we were doing. We were trying to get out of debt. Like we actually we're okay. There we go. So my issue around money at this point, when I was so I've never cared about money. This is crazy. And this is how horrible my relationship with money was, is that I always felt like I could do my job for free. Sometimes when you're in like a service-based industry, it's almost like you're expected to think of your work as like charity almost. Like you're expected to think that, I do so much good, I shouldn't be paid for this. Or if you're doing something that you love, it's like, oh, I shouldn't be paid for this, I enjoy it too much. So I had all those kinds of money mindset issues as far as like feeling guilty for getting paid, being a doctor. So I would spend the money just like crazy. Like I didn't try to save it. I wasn't attached to it. I didn't have a good relationship with money. I would give it away like crazy. Oh my God, I was giving so much money away in the past. And so I had my midlife crisis in 2018, and I had to completely flip that. I had to flip it because now it was really important for me to do something that was going to change my life and get me out of this bondage of debt. And so I had to heal my relationship with money, which meant that I had to stop taking it for granted and start really, like, I needed to decide, I got to move this because I can't keep holding it. Oh. All right, with my dominant hand. That hurt, actually. So I had to decide if money was going to be important to me. I had to decide, like how to take it seriously and how to like treat it with respect. So now I'm out of debt. So that went well. It went really extremely well, and we're out of debt. And now what I want to do is to build my financial coaching business because of everything that I learned in the last year and a half, everything that I've been through, everything that I've learned. It's qualified me to be able to help other people to go through the same thing or similar issues, because I got a crash course. Like for months and months and months, I was just reading and learning and reading and testing things and trying different things. And I built the budget diary based on my need that I had to learn how to budget. And so I think that if you have the need for a simple budget, an easy way to do it, where you're not reinventing the wheel every month, but you're figuring things out and you're tracking things and you're learning how to make it fun. If you feel like you need that, then the budget diary is a tool that will really help you. And what I'm currently working on is revamping the customer website. You get a free access to a customer website when you get the budget diary, and it it'll contain a course, 2 courses actually. One course for learning how to budget from scratch, the other course for learning how to change your money mindset. And money mindset is a big thing for me, because a lot of times you'll have financial coaches who can walk you through the steps of this is what to do. This is what to do to build your budget type steps, and this is how to set up your retirement and all your financial planning, but they don't tell you how to fix your money mindset. And without fixing your money mindset, you're going to end up back in debt. You're going to end up using your credit cards again. You're just going to fall back into that same pattern that you had before, because changing your life is a series of changing little habits, and changing little habits is a series of changing your mind about those little habits. So if you want to know my whole story, like if you want to hear my story of what happened in 2018, I'm so blessed, y'all. So yesterday, Planner Girl magazine they asked me to write an article to explain like my story. And so I wrote it, and it was published yesterday. So I linked the magazine in my personal feed, but I'll link it to this video, and I'll link it on this page too today. But it's a beautiful magazine, and my entire story is there. I've gotten feedback on it. I actually haven't looked at it myself because, mindset issues. But I might look at it tomorrow. Gosh, it's been a long week. But anyway, so if you want to like read my whole story, beautifully and artfully written, the absolute truth, no drama, but it sounds dramatic because it was dramatic. It's in Planner Girl magazine. So, I get off the phone with Diane, and I'm thinking about one of the goals that we set, which is our revenue goal. And I think our revenue goal is the one that brought up things mostly for us. Not so much a project goal or self-care, but the revenue goal brought up some crud to the surface. So the crud that came to my surface is that I feel so icky. I feel just icky about it, right? So I'm like, I'm a doctor. I go there every single day of the week. I get paid once a month, and I have this passion project on the side that I love. I could make planners and build my website and tweak on my website. Tweak on it, right? Like improve it, not twerk on it. I do not twerk on the internet, just to let you know. I don't twerk anywhere. I don't twerk in my living room. But I could work on my side hustle 24 hours a day without getting tired. That's how much I love it. It feels like breathing to me. It just feels like flow and ease and breathing, and I love it. So that's how I know is what I should be doing. So I want to, this is my mindset issue at this point. I want to prove to my husband it's a viable business, so that in case we have to move, I can start doing it full time and take care of our kids. Because what we have proven to ourselves in the last year is that it does not take a doctor's salary to live comfortably. It doesn't. And it only took that much for me to live comfortably because I was throwing it away on crap. I've had 2 BMWs. I've taken spa vacations all over the world. And it's just like, okay, if you're going to do all that, then yeah, you need more money. But I'm not going to do all that, right? Like, I don't need to do all that to be happy. Now that I've found myself, now that I've found that what I actually need to be happy is a simple, happy life, doing something that I love, instead of trying to medicate my fatigue and medicate my unhappiness with, let's throw some more money at the situation. Let's throw some cash at the situation. You don't feel good at work? Let's throw some cash at the situation. That's what I used to do. And now it's like, no, like I actually feel fulfilled. I actually feel happy. So I don't need a ton of money, to realize what the best things are. The best things, is so cliche, right? You know what I'm going to say? The best things in life are free. Right. So, and my husband knows this. He already knows it. But it took me a while to really figure it out. So now that I figured it out, I want to transition to a job, a career, a business that makes me happy. And I felt like I needed to prove to him that it would be financially viable. Like, I felt like I had to replace my salary in order to show him that if I could replace my salary doing this side hustle thing, then I could stop working. But in talking with Diane, it was kind of like I had this epiphany that, number one, that's impossible. Are you kidding me? Who do you think you are? Denise Duffield Thomas? Do you think you're Beyonce? Do you think you can really make that much money in a year just doing side hustle stuff? Give me a break. You had to buy Etsy. Do you own Etsy? Okay, that was a conversation inside my head. My inner child yells at me, and when like if I'm doing something and I'm like breaking through the barriers, instead of getting like yelled at by my inner child, I actually get strangled. Y'all, let me tell you, I have this sensation that there's like pressure on my neck and I can't breathe. And then yesterday when the Planner Girl magazine came out, I had that choking sensation, and I also had like this stabbing in the neck sensation that I was like, oh my gosh, my inner child is trying to kill me, like literally trying to tell me I will stab you in the neck if you keep doing stuff, right? Because I'm doing stuff, right? I'm not holding back any longer in my life. I'm doing stuff. And my inner child is like, you need to play it safe. Go sit down somewhere and be quiet. And I'm like, no, I'm writing an article for a magazine. I'm going to do it. So, yes, I'm not yelling at myself anymore. So I was like, first of all, it's a flawed premise. So first of all, the belief that I need to replace my entire salary to prove to my husband that I could do something that makes me happy and still like sustain my life, then that's already wrong. Like that idea is already wrong. So sometimes we start out with these ideas that are already like messed up ideas, and then we try to like push our lives to mold and to like fit them and to make them make sense, and then we just end up with a big old mess because it's like you started out with the wrong idea. Like that didn't even make sense to begin with. And the thing about it is that we can't see that because it's us and it's our mind, but other people can see that. So when you say it out loud to someone, a lot of times it'll be like, yeah, that made sense in my head, but when I said it out loud, it didn't make any sense. So in talking with Diane yesterday, and I was telling her, what my revenue goal was and why, I was like, that doesn't make sense, right? I don't have to prove, number one, I don't have to prove to him that it'll be a profitable business. I mean, it will be, but I have to kind of maybe show him, which he already knows, but I probably just need to show him that it would make more sense for me to be at home and caring for our home and the kids than it would for me to go off and have this, super busy job like I have now. Like I told you guys yesterday, I think that I'm away from my house for 11 hours a day. That's not good for anybody. I'm away from my kids for 11 hours a day, every day of the week, and that's not good for anybody. So I'm sure he already understands that, but if I could just show him that it would make more sense for me to be not on the grind, that's really all I need. I don't need to replace my salary with my side hustle. So here's what we came up with when we were talking about this. I was like, what if I just replace the daycare fees? What if I just replace the daycare fees, which is like $1,520 a month? What if I could replace that and show him that I replaced the daycare fees, or even not even show him, but just show myself that I can replace the daycare fees? So that didn't feel sleazy, because to me it felt sleazy to say, you're a doctor, you go to work every day, you make a lot of money, but now you want to have an extra $1,000 a month. And the thing is, the beautiful thing is that I don't need the money. Like now that we're out of debt, I don't have that need. I don't need to, because it was like, okay, we need to cut back. We need to do this because we need to pay off the debt. Well, now we paid off the debt, so I don't need it. So one of my mindset issues is that I feel guilty even wanting to make more. But I don't want to make more because I feel like I need more. like a greed kind of thing. Like, I need more. I don't feel like that. I just feel like I want to prove that what I'm doing is worth the effort, and I don't need, money doesn't prove that to me. And so that's where my epiphany came in. The epiphany that I had about an hour after getting off the call with Diane is that money is not the way that I keep score and keep track of how successful I'm being. Money is not the way that I keep track of how successful I'm being. So I don't know if it's that way for you guys or not, but what I notice is that like cash itself, like first of all, when I think about having a pile of cash, I don't think, we use cards now. Like our cash is in the bank, we barely see it. I'll pull out some money every week to do my cash envelopes so I can, I use things with cash so I don't go back into the credit card hole. And it's like, I don't see cash. So for me to say like, oh, I need this money. Well, where am I? I'm not Scrooge McDuck. Like I don't have like a big vault full of money that I go swimming in every morning. So how is money itself going to do anything for me? But it's not the money. It's the things that the money can buy. It's what money can do. So it's more of what money symbolizes, and money as a tool, what the tool can do, what it can fix. You know what I mean? So even if it's savings and growth, when the money multiplying and becoming savings and growth, what is it growing for? That needs to mean something to me. And yesterday when I decided that my revenue goal would not be a dollar amount, but my revenue goal would be something that the money can buy. Like if I can pay the school fees, then it's like, that's something more tangible. That's something that motivates me to push towards the goal, more than saying, oh, I want to make $1,500 a month, because I'm like, I already make way more than that. So why would I just, drop that in the bucket? So it's more of, what can this money buy for me that I can say, I'm so proud that I did this because now the money can buy this for me. And that was a big epiphany for me. That was a huge shift. My energy shifted when I discovered that, because I was like, this is something that can motivate me. This is something I can get behind and I can work on. I'm sorry about the camera, y'all. And so now I've translated that to everything, and it actually reminds me of when I'm paying bills, because when I'm paying bills, I actually tell my money like what its job is and how I'm exchanging it for something. And I'll talk to, it's all virtual, right? Because I'm just writing numbers on the paper. It's not like I have a pile of cash and I'm like, all right, you're the mortgage, I'm going to mail this cash, to the mortgage company. But it's like, you are going to provide shelter for me and the kids this month, and I just talk through, and it helps me feel good about paying bills, because it makes me feel like what I'm paying, it's not like money, it's just, because you get paid and then you start paying bills and it's just like easy come, easy go, easy come, easy go. But it's not easy come, easy go. And that's a mindset issue I grew up with too. Money just comes and it goes, it goes out faster than it comes in. But it's not going out, right? Like our money, when we pay our bills, our money is not going out. Our money is going to be exchanged for something that we find value in, like shelter and food and gas in the car, all these things. So it's a trade. And when you start thinking about the money being traded for something that's really valuable to you, it makes a big difference in the way you look at how much you're paying. Because sometimes you look at it and you say, I'm paying $167 for cable every month. So I'm trading 167 of my dollars for access to television. Okay, well, am I watching it? No. So that's not an even exchange. So I either need to call and negotiate a different deal, or I need to cancel it or something. So something recently happened too with our lawn service. I have been so proud of myself because I got a lawnmower. I think I got a lawnmower for like $100. It was a little less than $100. And our lawn service was $30 every 2 weeks. And so last year, about this time, I started cutting our grass myself. because we were on the debt-free journey, and it made more economic sense for me to get a lawnmower for $100 and cut our grass whenever, like every 2 weeks or every week, than it would be to pay someone else to do it and save that money. So after 3 times of cutting the grass myself, the lawnmower basically paid for itself, and every other time I cut it, it was just like free, and for me it was exercise, so I didn't mind it as much, because I love being out there, and it was a lot of fun. I have a whole video about cutting grass, and so I was cutting the grass. Well, about 2 months ago, my lawnmower broke. I'm not gonna say I broke it, but I probably broke it, and I haven't gotten it fixed yet. So our grass was getting a little crazy. Like, we didn't get a letter in the mail, but I was like, any day now they're gonna be like, you need to do something about this yard, because y'all, come on, y'all get it together. Is anybody living here? So my husband had this good long talk with me, because he wasn't in favor of me cutting the grass in the first place, because he was like, it's not worth your time. But it didn't take me very long, and it's actually one of the things I really used to love doing before I was fancy. I love doing it. Like, I'm not so big on inside housework. I do it now because, I like a clean house, but it's not my favorite thing to do. But I love outside, outside housework. And so I really like to do it. It made me happy. I love being outside. It made me happy. And I love the feeling of looking at the yard after it's done and knowing that I did that, and it's the best looking house on the block. Yeah. So when the lawnmower broke, my husband was like, look, okay, you need to really evaluate, whether it's worth your time to cut the grass anymore, because you have a lot of stuff going on. You have a lot to do, with the kids and everything, and just, life in general. And he's like, you need to decide if you're going to keep doing this, or if you're just going to pay somebody else to do it. So I started paying somebody else to do it again. And it's a different energy this year than it was last year. Because last year we were in debt. And I was like, we're going to go gazelle intense. I'm going to do whatever I have to do. I'm going to do whatever I have to do. And now we're not. So that motivation was not as strong. And it was August at the time, and August in Houston is the hottest month on the planet anywhere. Probably not, but it feels like it. And I was not wanting to go out there and cut the grass. Like, I did not. I was like, I don't care. We can live in the grass. This is not, the grass could grow higher than the house. We just live in a big grass hut. I'm not going out there. And so it made more sense for me to have somebody else to do it. So I got someone to cut the grass, and he's going to do it for $30 every 2 weeks. And so it's like, that's an exchange, right? So it's what money can exchange for you. So if the lawn was $50 every 2 weeks, I would probably feel like that wasn't, because we don't have a huge lot. We have a small house in a suburban neighborhood. So that wouldn't be worth it. So with each exchange, you look at the money that you're exchanging, you look at the service that you're getting, and you decide if the exchange is worth it. And if it's not, you reevaluate. But the money itself is not the determinant, right? Like, you're not looking and saying $30. No, you're saying $30 for the time that it takes for me to cut the grass. So how much is my time worth? And how much is my peace of mind worth for me to just drive up to my house and it's already done and it looks great, versus, and this is still a tough one for me because I really do like to do it. So I'm like, sometimes I'm just like, well, I could have done that, but whatever. So that was my one epiphany, is that we're not getting money. We're not working for money. We're exchanging what we do for money. And we're exchanging the money for something else. So the money, and this is Esther Hicks was saying this. I was listening the other day, and she said, this lady was saying the money comes and goes. It just comes into my life. It goes out of my life. It goes, comes and goes so fast. I make it and I spend it. I make it and I spend it. Esther's like, that's what you're supposed to do. Money is like air. You breathe it in, you breathe it out. You breathe it in, you breathe it out. It's supposed to come and go. Some of it is supposed to come and go into your savings account so it can grow for you. So that's a whole different thing. Like, it should come and go for savings, just a bit of it, so you can save over time. But the rest of it, it comes and you exchange it for something that's valuable. Now, if you go to Taco Bell every day, you will feel like crap because that's coming and going for something that's not valuable. You know, you can spend money, and I'm the worst at this. I really had to work on this because I spend money on fast food, and it's like I don't even feel like, I end up feeling bad. My stomach hurts. I don't even feel good about it. And so, like, I just spent, $8 on a stomach ache. Did I want to spend $8 on a stomach ache? No, that's ridiculous. I wouldn't buy a stomach ache from anywhere. Is there a stomach ache store? No. So you have to look at what you're exchanging it for and decide if the value is worth it. So that was my epiphany. So I decided that I'm not. And then I was talking to Amy. Well, let me finish my sentence. I decided that I'm not attracting money for money's sake. I'm attracting money for what it can do in my life, what it can be exchanged for in my life. And that's a whole different feeling than just saying like, oh, I want money, because it feels like, greed and greed and greed. So I was talking to Amy because Amy is the one who edited my article. And if you're just joining us, if you want to read my story, I wrote an article and it was published yesterday in Planner Girl magazine, which is a beautiful magazine, inspiring. It's amazing. And the girls who created are just phenomenal. So Amy is one of the ladies who's created it, and she edited my article, and so she's been keeping me updated, and she's like, it's beautiful, I'm doing it justice with the graphics, I'm making it pretty, I can't wait for you to see it. Read this thing. You are not gonna read it because you're not as awesome as you think you are or whatever. So I haven't looked at it yet, but so Amy was like, how are you doing? And I was telling her, I said, I feel the choking and I can't look at it. And which is crazy, right? I'm 42. And she said, what's coming up for you? And I said, and I knew what was coming up for me because I decided I was going to tap on it. I told you guys about the EFT tapping where you tap on these certain parts of your body and it helps to calm down the adrenaline that's giving you the fight or flight about whatever idea it is that you're having. So in order to tap on it, I needed to go to YouTube and I needed to find the appropriate tapping video. I go to Brad Yates Tapping, if you're interested. Brad Yates Tapping, I'll link it in the comments. And you start off, with this thing that's bothering you. You find the appropriate video that'll help you with it. He talks you through, as you're tapping, he talks you through things that calms down your central nervous system. And by the time you're done tapping, you're like, what was I upset about again? How was I feeling? So I knew that if I was going to tap on this issue, I needed to know what the issue was. So I took a deep breath and I thought about how I would feel opening this magazine and reading an article that I wrote with my pictures in it and my real face. And I realized that the problem for me was that I felt like I couldn't allow good things into my life. Like, I'm working on allowing things to flow into my life, but in that moment, and still now, I feel like I can't allow something good like this into my life. Because here's how it comes. I sat down, I wrote that article in one day. I was in flow. Like, I was actually pushed to write. It was like giving birth. It was like, I got to sit down and write this thing right now because it's coming out whether, I have a pen in my hand or not. And so I sat down and I typed it all out and I wrote the article. I proofread it and corrected some things and rearranged some things, but it wasn't labor. It wasn't tough to write it. It was easy to write it. It flowed. The sequence of events flowed because it was my life. I can write about my life. I just said what happened. And I sent it to Michelle, and Amy edited it, and they made it pretty, and they put it in a magazine. And to me, my inner child is saying, you don't deserve to be in a magazine. You didn't toil over that article. It didn't take you 10 years to get out of debt. You didn't struggle. You were not homeless recently. we were homeless in high school. But it was like, you didn't pay your dues for that article. You know what I mean? Like, this is the way we think, the way we're told. Like, everything is hard. You have to work hard. You have to struggle. You have to climb. You have to do things by blood and sweat and tears and all this stuff. And it was easy. It wasn't hard. It was easy. And I'm learning to make things easy in my life, make it easier for myself, you know, establish a way by which I can make passive income where I don't have to trade my hours of my life for dollars. You know, you're not working for so much. Oh, thanks, Diane. You're not working for, you know, so much money per hour. You know, you get paid $12 an hour. Okay, well, is an hour of your life worth $12? I didn't think about this until I had kids. When I had kids and I had to be away from them for hours, like now I'm away from them for 11 hours of my day. And I'm like, these hours, it doesn't matter. They could pay me $1 million. It's not worth it for me not to be there for my kids. If something happens to them, I'm like, oh, this way far away, you know? It's crazy. So anyway, so that was a mindset shift. So yesterday I realized that, there's the cops. I'm not talking on my phone or at my phone into my phone. So yesterday, I realized that I was having trouble opening this thing because I felt like I didn't deserve it. And so Amy starts like telling me like, oh my goodness, but it's so great. You're a great writer. This article is going to help so many people. It's going to change so many lives. And I was reading that and I was going, okay, okay, great. Okay, good to know. Great. And then she said something, which she was texting me, and it just broke me down. Like I was reading it and I actually I was like, like that. And I just started crying. She said, you're a good person, Fran. That's what she said. And it made me gasp. Like, I was so taken aback by somebody saying, you're a good person. It was amazing. I'm like, why? What? Like, why is that making me have such a strong reaction? Why did it surprise me? Why did it shock me? When she was saying, oh, you're a great writer, and this is going to help so many people, and people are going to identify with your story, and they're going to see, that they can do it too. It's so inspiring. And I'm going, okay, yeah, great. And then she goes, you're a good person. And then I like start crying. So I started thinking, have I been doing things? Thank you, Diane. Diane's like, you are a good person. But it makes me wonder, have I been doing things? Have I been doing things my entire life to somehow be validated? That I'm a good person. Have I been trying to be a good person? Like, why did that hit me so hard? I'm still wrestling with this. Like, I still don't know the answer. And I'm thinking, like, what have I been trying to prove? Who have I been trying to prove it to? Who have I needed to say I'm a good person? Who have I, like, my heart and my soul, who have I been longing to hear that from? Right? And I know that when I was younger, I wanted to hear that from my father, I didn't ever even meet him until I was like 16 or something. And he didn't even say anything then, not anything, not even hi. And so it's like, I knew that when I was younger, I wanted him to tell me I was a good person. So I did a lot of stuff to just wait. I said, like I had a portfolio ready for when I meet him, and I could just be like, I can't wait for him to see this. He's going to see all the stuff that I've done in my life. He's going to see all these things, and he's going to be so proud of me. He's just going to be like, I'm so proud of you. I can't believe you did all this without me. And now I'm here to rescue you, and everything is going to be great. And that didn't happen. So it took about maybe 10, 15 more years for me to realize that I don't actually need him to tell me that, because guess what? He's not going to tell me. So I may as well move on with my life. But then when she said that yesterday, I thought, did I still need that? Like, do I still feel like I need someone to tell me that I'm a good person? I don't know. I really don't know. I got to work on that. But it hit me hard, and I thought, I can't even open my own article. Like, I can't even be proud of something that I did that was easy, that came easily to me, because I feel like I don't deserve it. Tisk, tisk, tisk. On a lighter note, the last epiphany I had yesterday. So yes, I had 3 epiphanies in one day, which is awesome. The last epiphany I had yesterday came super late at night. One of the girls from the Power Manifesting Collective group is a fitness model. And if you guys have been listening to me, you know that I want to be a fitness model, but I don't want to do any of the work of it. Like, I want to eat what I want, and I don't want to exercise. I don't want to be a fitness model. I know that's impossible. But I thought if I concentrated my mind on it long enough, if I just conjured up the desire in my mind strongly enough, I could do it. Who knows? I don't know if it's going to work or not. But when I saw that she was a fitness model, I started to ask her questions. I told her about my desire, and I started to ask her questions about what she does. Not specifically like, I get up at 5, I go to the gym, blah, blah, blah. Not that stuff. I don't care about that stuff because I'm not doing all that. That's not important to me. I just asked her about the mindset around it, which I didn't even have to ask her specifically about the mindset. But because she's in the collective, and our entire group is all about Abraham Hicks, it's all about law of attraction, and all about mindset, she knew exactly how to answer the question. So I said, how do I become this? How do I get my body to do what your body is doing? And she started telling me about, and there are 3 key points I got from her. She said she loves to exercise. She loves to do it. She loves to go to the gym, and she goes almost every day. And then she said it's become her morning meditation, or her morning therapy, I think is what she said. And I was like, gotcha. Because I feel like if you have that kind of, that lean and toned body, you're doing a lot of stuff. You know, you're not eating a lot of stuff, and you're eating different things, and you're doing different things for activity than what I'm doing. If you feel like a marshmallow like me, you are doing things differently than this other girl who, you know, you can see the collarbones and all that. So I asked her about that, and so I got a mindset shift from that. I got a little epiphany from that, because I always hear, you know, no pain, no gain. You know, you got to work out. So work out even sounds like a horrible idea, right? And then recently, you know, people say things like, you know, it doesn't get easier. You know, you have to decide every single day that you're going to go to the gym. It's not going to be easy to get up and go to the gym. You're not going to fall in love with it and start doing it. You're going to have to push yourself to go do it every day. You're going to push yourself through your workout. And so to hear this, and so I hear that, and I'm like, well, hell, why would I want to live my life like that? Like, I almost gave up on the dream. I'm like, But something inside me was like, there's got to be an easier way. There's got to be a better way. If somebody's doing it, then there's a way to do it. So like I said, I have not changed my diet or started working out, but my dream of being a fitness model was being created in my head. And so she proved that to me, because she was like, I love to do it. I love to do it. And so to me, that meant that you can actually enjoy yourself with movement. It's not something that is horrendous and tedious and horrible and terrible. It can actually be something that you enjoy doing, that you want to do almost every day of your life. So that was that. And then she told me, she said that you know, our bodies we need food, we need water, we need movement. That's what we need to be happy, to be healthy. And I would add sleep to that list too. I would add sleep for sure. And so when she said that, and then she told me, find a movement that you love to do. And she almost sent me on a mission. It was like a challenge. She was just like, try out different things and see which one you love to do. I told you guys yesterday, if I run or walk briskly even, I break out in hives after like 12 minutes. So I definitely don't like having hives. So running and walking briskly will not be, those will not be on the list of things that I love to do. So now I'm challenged to find a movement that I actually love to do. And when I find that movement, I just do that almost every day, and just take it like it's a meditation. Take it like it's therapy, and just move my body like it's therapy. Nothing strenuous. I don't have to measure my calves or anything like that. Just find a movement that I love to do, and then it'll start to come easier. So I'm going to start with that, and I'm going to try that. So that was my epiphany from yesterday, as far as becoming a fitness model and having the shoulders like Michelle Obama. All right, guys, so I am late because of all the drama with my kids this morning, and I expect a call any moment now from the schools telling me to come pick them up because they are snotty. But anyway, so I'm about to get to work. So I will talk to you tomorrow. I don't know if this helped. I'm just talking it out. I feel like it's helping me. I hope it's helping you. I hope that you're getting something from it, but I'm trying not to like tell you, you should do this and you should do that, because that's annoying. So I'm just trying to tell you, this is what I'm doing. And then if some of it resonates with you, then, let me know. So in the comments, I'm going to put the link to Planner Girl magazine, which is amazing. And I'm going to put a link to Brad Yates tapping, so you can see how to tap. It's not tap dancing. I thought it was tap dancing. I was like, okay, well, when I get some time, I'll learn to tap dance. That way I can tap away my troubles. But it's not. When you tap away your troubles, you're just using 2 fingers, and you're tapping on these specific areas of your body that help to calm down the amygdala in the brain. And as you're tapping, you're talking things out. And you're calming down your central nervous system from the fight or flight that's associated with this idea. So whatever idea you have that's giving you stress is because you feel like panic at the disco. Not at the disco, just panic. You're panicking about this issue. And as you tap on yourself, it calms your body down. So now that issue is not associated with panic anymore. And when you're done, you're going like, yeah, I feel great. What do you mean? What? I don't have problems with my mom. I love my mom. She's great. Whereas before you were just like having so many problems. So you almost forget. The pain is so gone, it's gone, and you just forget. So anyway, I'll link those 2 things, and have a wonderful day. Thank you so much. Please read the article. Read the entire magazine, because it's amazing. I mean, I read the first edition, so I can tell you it's amazing. I haven't read the second edition because I'm freaking out. But when I read it, I'm sure I will agree with myself. The entire magazine is amazing. So there you go. All right. Talk to you later. Bye. Have a wonderful Thursday.